Shana Tova. Joining me today are the mother-son team of Marina Singer and Ben Singer, who will chant our Haftarah blessings and share with us our Haftarah reading for the second day of Rosh Hashanah. What a blessing to be joined with them both again this year. Our ancient sages chose this reading from the book of Jeremiah for the reading on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Jeremiah, a priest and a prophet who lived towards the end of the 7th century BCE, led his people through immense political turmoil, including the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem and exile to Babylonia and Egypt. Jeremiah himself lived out his days in Egypt, never returning to Jerusalem. And yet, our reading today is a hopeful one. Through poetic language, Jeremiah reminds us of the possibility of teshuvah, repentance, making amends for our wrongdoings, and returning to ourselves, to our community, and to God. The text that Marina will read for us includes beautiful imagery. Jeremiah represents God here as a parent, full of grace and tenderness, open to receiving teshuvah, turning and returning. Here, God offers comfort. As we listen to these ancient words, may they serve as a blessing, that we too will be received with God's love, that we too will feel God's compassion, and in turn, will pass that love on to others.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nviim tovim v'ratzah v'divreihem hana'amarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboker b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei hamet v'tzedek. And there is hope for your future. Jeremiah 31, 2-20. Thus said Adonai, a people, survivors of the sword, gained grace in the wilderness. Long ago, when Israel was on its journey home, the Eternal appeared and said, with an everlasting love, I have loved you. Indeed, with a love that is faithful, I draw you near. Once more, I will build you up, young maiden Israel. You will be made anew. Once more, you will take up your drums in hand and join in the dance of the joyous. Once again, you will plant vines on Samaria's hills, and the planters will live to enjoy them. For a day is coming when watchmen will announce in the hills of Ephraim, arise and let us go up to Zion, to the Eternal, our God. For thus said the Eternal, cry out in joy for Jacob, cry out in praise over the pinnacle of the nations. Sing and shout and say with voices raised, Adonai, save your people, the remnant of Israel. I am here to bring them back from the land of the north, to gather them from the ends of the earth, the blind and the lame among them, women who are pregnant, along with birthing mothers. They shall return here, a great community. With weeping they will come, with compassion I will guide them. I will bring them on a smooth path to brooks of water. They will not falter, for I have become like a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Nations, hear the word of the Eternal, declare it in the distant islands, and say, the one who scattered Israel will gather them in and guard them as a shepherd the flock. For Adonai has redeemed Jacob and saved him from hands stronger than his own. Happy their song when they reach the summit of Zion and bask in the glow of divine generosity. Grain, wine, oil, sheep, and cattle, they will be like a well-watered garden through and through, never again to languish. Then maidens will dance with delight, the young and their elders together. Their grief I will turn into bliss. I will comfort them and gladden them in their time of sorrow. The priests will have their fill of fatness, and my people, my bountiful goodness, declares Adonai. Thus said the Eternal, a voice is heard in Ramah, wailing, bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted for her children, for they are gone. Thus said Adonai, keep your voice from weeping and your eyes from tears, for your labor shall have its reward, declares Adonai. They shall return from the enemy's land, and there is hope for your future, declares Adonai. Your children will return to their land. How I hear Ephraim lamenting. You have disciplined me like a wild calf. I have been disciplined. Help me return. And I will return, for you are my eternal God. Now that I have turned back, I am filled with sorrow. Now that I am made aware, I strike my thigh in remorse. Ashamed and humiliated, I carry the disgrace of my early life. Truly, Ephraim is my precious child, my delight, and though I speak against him, I remember him with tenderness. That is why my heart yearns for him. I will receive him back in love, declares Adonai.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם וכל העולמים צדיק בכל הדורות האל הנאמן האומר ועושה המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ונאמנים דבריך ודבר אחד מדבריך עוד לא ישוב ריקם כי אל מלך נאמן ורחמן אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הנאמן בכל דבריו רחים על ציון כי בית חיינו ולעלובת נפש תושיע במהרה בימינו ברוך אתה אדוני משמח ציון בבניה שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו באליהו הנביא עבדך ובמלכות בית דוד משהך במהרה יבוא ויגיע לליבנו על כסאו לא ישב זר ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו כי בשם קדשך נשבעת לו שלא יכבה נרו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מגן דוד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום הזיכרון הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לכבוד ותפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ וקדש ישראל ביום הזיכרון